The story begins in a farmhouse nestled in the mountains where a family resides. This family belongs to Grady. The entire estate is shared with his wife, children, and his brother Rowdy. Grady had gone on a hunting trip in the mountains with some friends. However, it has now been 10 days without any trace of him. No one returns from the mountains, and the police have already been informed by Grady's family. Despite a search operation, bad weather forces the police to call it off, and Grady remains missing. The mountains are notorious for being a place where those who go never return. In Grady's absence, his brother Rowdy takes care of the family. Near their farm, another man lives in his van. Rowdy and Grady's wife, Elena, are shown to have an affair, which Grady's eldest son, Drake, begins to suspect. Drake starts to resent Rowdy, believing he does not want his father to return. Driven by doubt, Drake decides to search for his father himself. Although Rowdy truly loves his brother and worries deeply about him, he tries to stop Drake. He even takes away Drake's horse and decides to go on the search himself, despite having an injured leg, which makes mountain climbing difficult. Surprisingly, this effort becomes unnecessary, as Grady returns shortly after. His condition is so poor that no one recognizes him at first. He can barely walk, his face appears monstrous, and he keeps collapsing. The family helps him inside and lays him down in his room. A doctor is called, who explains that Grady is extremely weak but miraculously survived the mountains. According to the doctor, surviving so long without food is nearly impossible, which means Grady must have consumed something. His body is fragile, and he must be regularly given food and water to recover. As soon as food is mentioned, Grady gives his son a strange look that even scares the boy. Soon after, a fight breaks out between Rowdy and Drake. Now that Grady is back, Drake no longer sees the need for Rowdy and angrily punches him, demanding that he stay away from his mother. Rowdy urges Drake to calm down and help his mother instead. Drake enters to find Elena cooking for Grady. He takes the food upstairs, while Elena tells Rowdy that Grady doesn't seem like himself anymore. She says his eyes feel unfamiliar, as if someone else has returned in his place. Suddenly, a loud crashing noise is heard. They rush upstairs to find the food spilled. Elena scolds Drake, but he insists that Grady knocked the food over himself, even though he is now screaming in hunger. Elena approaches to check on him, but Grady creepily licks her body and comments, "She tastes good." This horrifying act suggests he now craves human flesh. Elena becomes terrified. That moment, a side scene reveals Grady's actual face in a picture. Night falls and everyone goes to sleep. In the middle of the night, they are awakened by the sound of horses screaming and a terrifying growl. Rowdy steps outside to investigate. Someone attacks the horse, injuring it severely, almost tearing it apart. No animal or human is seen nearby, but Grady is shown staring at the horse with a strange look and a creepy smile. All the noise draws their neighbor Eddie to the scene. Rowdy believes a wild animal is responsible, but Eddie suspects the truth. He believes Grady is behind it. The next morning, Eddie visits Grady, pulls out a knife from his pocket, and begins telling a childhood story. He recalls how his uncle once returned from those same mountains in a state very similar to Grady's, extremely weak and distant. Soon after returning, his uncle killed Eddie's entire family. Police eventually shot him before he could harm more people. Eddie tells Grady that he believes the same evil force has now entered him, a power that consumes from within. Grady can drive it out, he might still be saved. Upon hearing this, Grady suddenly sits up like a ghost and screams. He says that the spirit has already done its work. It has taken over his body and hollowed him out. Eddie, now frightened, considers killing him, but Grady, reading his thoughts, warns him not to try. Grady reminds Eddie that he is just an old man with no strength, while Grady is a skilled farmer. If Eddie kills him, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Grady then lies down again, and Eddie, shaken, leaves. Eddie, now scared, wants to warn everyone. He goes to Rowdy and reveals everything. He tells Rowdy that the being inside Grady is no longer Grady. The body may be his, but the soul inside belongs to a Wendigo, an evil spirit that lives in the mountains and possesses people. This creature is a cannibal and feeds on humans. Before Grady can harm their family, Eddie advises Rowdy to find a way to kill him. Meanwhile, Elena enters Grady's room and notices the food still untouched. As she turns to leave with the plate, Grady calls her in his own voice. For a moment, it feels like the evil soul has gone dormant and the real Grady is back. He speaks to Elena and explains that during the hunt in the mountains, they got lost. They took shelter in a cave. 4 men went to seek help but never returned. Grady and his companion were starving. Then, he heard a strange voice whispering to let it in and promising to save him. This voice belonged to the evil spirit. In desperation, Grady agrees. allowing the spirit to enter his body. As soon as the evil soul enters Grady, he begins acting strangely. He tells Elena that the spirit made him kill his own friend and then forced him to eat the body. Grady warns her that the demonic soul inside him still hungers for more victims. Frightened, Elena tries to leave, but before she can take a step, Grady appears in front of her. He grabs her by the neck, and his mouth begins to emit heat, as if he is preparing to devour her. Just before he attacks, Rowdy points a gun at him from behind. Enraged, Grady quickly locks himself in the room and starts destroying everything, screaming in a terrifying voice. Chaos frightens Drake and his brother. Elena, trying to protect everyone, gathers the children and Rowdy to escape the house. That moment, Eddie arrives, determined to kill Grady. He urges everyone to get into his van. Drake, however, refuses, insisting on saving his father. Elena slaps him and explains that the creature inside Grady is not his father anymore. It is a demon, and it must be destroyed. She reveals that Grady himself confessed everything. The group leaves the house. Eddie goes upstairs to confront Grady but is ambushed and killed by him. Rowdy, armed with a gun, enters the house to stop Grady and finds Eddie's corpse. Furious, he heads to Grady's room. Grady lies on the bed, appearing helpless. Rowdy hesitates, feeling pity for his brother, but that moment of weakness allows Grady to attack him. Hearing the screams, Elena hides the children elsewhere. Grady follows with Rowdy's dead body. He forces Elena into the kitchen and lays Rowdy's corpse on the table. He demands that Elena cook his brother's flesh, instructing her to cut the body, boil water, and make soup. Elena refuses, but Grady slaps her hard, knocking her to the ground. She notices Drake arriving secretly to help her. To distract Grady, Elena pretends to obey. She cuts up Rowdy's body, places the meat in a bowl, and prepares soup. Meanwhile, Drake searches for and loads a gun. Elena serves the soup to Grady, who demands another bowl so she can eat with him. Elena resists, saying she's not hungry. Just then, Drake drops a bullet, alerting Grady. To keep his attention away, Elena agrees to eat. She sits and is forced to eat the flesh. Grady eats voraciously. After finishing, he grabs Elena by the collar, blaming her and Rowdy for his condition. Before he can kill her, Drake shoots. Grady drops Elena and runs. Elena is injured, and she urges Drake to save Tim. Drake finds Grady strangling Tim. Grady releases Tim momentarily and mockingly says that they all belong inside his stomach. His eyes are now fully white. The real Grady is gone, and only the demonic Wendigo remains. He resumes choking Tim, but Drake shoots him again, but it hits Gardius' ear. He dropped Tim, and this time Drake shoots him in the chest. Grady collapses. Just as they believe the danger is over, Grady rises and grabs Drake. Before he can kill him, Elena appears just in time and shoots Grady's mouth, finally killing him. Though Grady's body is lifeless, the terrifying sounds that once echoed from him still linger. This signals that the evil, the Wendigo, has not yet been vanquished. With that chilling suspense, the story ends. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please like and share it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We keep bringing such content regularly. Peace.